Доброго ранку.
Good morning, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, participants of our event, those who are present here, and our colleagues, representatives of mass media. We welcome you at the round table, which is called the Old Building of the Kyiv Mohyla Academy, How to Save It. We will be talking on the current status of the building, which is known not just in Kyiv, not just in Ukraine, which is one of our main elements of our national identity, which unfortunately is now in a very difficult condition. And we will today tell about the history of this building, about the current condition, what has been done by the National Academy, Kyiv Mohyla University, to support this building, and on what has to be done in the future. I'm Vladyslava Osmak. I work at the Kyiv Mohyla Academy. I will introduce the participants of this meeting. In the center is the president of the Kyiv Mohyla Academy, Professor Andriy Meleshevych. To the left of Andriy, member of initiative group, Volodymyr Panchenko. Next to me is Tetyana Yaroshenko, vice president of Kyiv Mohyla Academy. And then Vasyl Tymkovych, the head of Director of Research and Design Institute UkpNDIproektrestavratsiya, and also Olga Rutkovska, member of the Advisory Council at the Department of Culture, Kyiv City State Administration. We hope that the representatives of the Ministry of Culture, the Ministry of Education will participate, and also the Vice Speaker of our Parliament, Madam Oksana Syroyid, was invited. We do hope that they will join us. We have about an hour and a half, and first this will be a detailed presentation on the problem that we are considering, and then participants will be able to answer questions and provide comments. And in the end, we would like to offer to those who are here to sign an open letter to support the project of the restoration of old academic building. The first one will be Andriy Meleshevych, the president of Kyiv Mohyla Academy. Good afternoon, esteemed friends. I welcome you here at our round table, which is dedicated to the Kyiv Mohyla Academy's building. This building could be considered as part of Ukrainian identity, and in a few minutes I will try to explain why, because I really agree with this point of view. We prepared for you the presentation. This presentation is in PowerPoint, and it is on the website dedicated to restoration of the old building, which is supported by Kyiv Mohyla Academy. Each one of you can enter the website, look in details at the presentation, and what will be happening now. We'll be talking little about the problems. I will demonstrate the slides which are included into the presentation.
Тому що, знову ж таки, це час.
I will not talk in detail about every slide. Our topic today is old academic building of Mogilyanka, how to save it. And you know that Kyiv Mohyla Academy has always been financed from two sources. A big part of funding historically were charity contributions of different founders who were taking care of Ukrainian nation, of the Ukrainian independence. And this slide demonstrates historical aspect of this movement of the support of Kyiv Mohyla by the sponsors, by the charity contributions. It was not just the charity contributions of private people, but also the university was supported, the academy was supported by the state, and this synergy between the founders who were providing assistance to Kyiv Mohyla Academy from themselves and the state made the Kyiv Mohyla Academy a glorious institution. Here you can see Olga Hulevichivna, who was the first one who gave her estate for education, and that's how this university started. You can see Petro Mohyla, who gave all his estates for the development of Kyiv Mohyla Academy, and he was one of the main founders of Kyiv Mohyla Academy. And we see Petro Konashevich Sagaidaczny, another hetman, Ivan Mazepa, who made a big contribution. The old academic building that we'll be talking about is called also Mazepa's building, because under hetman Mazepa, the construction of this building started. And also, I would like to include modern people, our contemporaries, the family of Omelyan and Antonina Antonovich, who did a lot for Kyiv Mohyla Academy. You know that Kyiv Mohyla Academy is has one of the best university libraries, and it was built at the money for the money of Antonovich family. We are grateful to this family because they have made such a big contribution into the development of the academy. Historically, the academy is located in Podil, which has always been the historic part of Kyiv, and most buildings, the historic buildings of the academy, are on Kontraktova Square, or there are some buildings nearby. There is also a birth, the school, which is close to the Dnipro, but we are talking about the buildings that you can see on this slide. All that is on the website. Now I would like to draw your attention to the fact that we have 9 historical monuments and architectural monuments on the territory of Academy. They date back to the 17th and 18th century. Some buildings were constructed in the 19th century. The old academic building is the beginning of the 18th century. The Academy started to be restored 25 years ago, and this year we will celebrate the 25 years of the restoration of Kyiv Mohyla Academy. We received this building from Kyiv Navy Political High School. I will demonstrate several slides to you. And that is what was the condition in which the building was received by Kyiv Mohyla Academy. We can call it Stalingrad, Chechnya, Aleppo, Palmyra. And this was basically a ruin, and Kyiv Mohyla Academy was restoring these buildings at its own expense. Look at this slide. That is the 4th building of Kyiv Mohyla Academy, where Kyiv Mohyla Business School is located, the School of Journalism, the Department of Social Sciences and Social Technologies, and some other units and departments of the Academy. So that is what we received the building. in what condition we received the building, and this building was restored. There will be 5 or 6 slides. It's before and now, before and now. And please keep in mind that practically all these repairs, all that restoration was happening at the expense of the founders of Kyiv Mohyla Academy. There was some money from the state budget used, but mostly that was the money of the founders. The Kyiv Mohyla Academy is doing everything possible to restore historical monuments without the state money from the state. Today we need to state that the building of the old building is in such a situation that we will not be able to cope with only founders and sponsors' money. The very big investments are needed because we can lose the building. And that is building 4, and the 4th floor where Kyiv Mohyla Business School is. You see again before and now. That is the building, the 5th building and the 6th building where British Council is located, Beauty Institute. There are several more units of Kyiv Mohyla Academy. You can see what was the condition before and what is the condition now. The next one is library, and named after Antonovich. We had just buildings. Nothing was inside, and thanks to the founders, the Antonovich family, and some other contributors' money, we restored this library, and that is probably the best university library in Ukraine. It's high-tech, it's very modernized, and it's just the best library in Ukraine. And unlike some other libraries, our library of Kyiv Mohyla Academy is open for public, and every citizen of Ukraine, every researcher can come and use the books and sources which we have in Kyiv Mohyla Academy. The next slide. That is the Church of Saint Spirit. We received it in 2005, and in 3 years we managed to restore it. And here, thanks to the money from the state budget, this was restored. The building that we received, just as all the buildings that Kyiv Mohyla Academy received, looked like that, and after restoration you can see what it looks like. It's again a church which to which everyone could go. The next is another building of Kyiv Mohyla Academy, one of the oldest buildings, according to some information, that was part of the building which was given by Halevichivna. That's what some historians say. Others say that that is where the building of Galevichivna was built, and that's one of the oldest buildings. And in 2005, that's what we received, and what it looks like now. And also in 2012, we received the building, the Bratsky University's rooms, cells. Half of the building is basically restored. You can see what's inside. The second part of the building is waiting for when we'll be able to restore it. We are not asking the state to help us. We are looking for founders who will help us restore the second part of the building. But the first part of the building, you can see what it looks like now. Now we will talk about Mazepa's building, the old academic building. Basically, this is the symbol of the university. That's the heart of the university. That is what it was in the past and what it is now. It was founded in 1703 by Hetman Mazepa as the building for the academy. It was founded with educational purpose. It was not a building which was built for some other purposes and then transferred to the university. It was a building which was specially constructed, designed for education. And this design is like that. And there were many famous people who studied in this building. And you see some of the names. Grigory Skovoroda, Ivan Grigorovich Barsky, Artemy Vedelь, Maxim Berezovsky, Ivan Nechulevitsky, Petro Gulag-Artemovsky, and Danilo Samelovich. If you take 500 hryvnias, the banknote, you will see the building of this building on 500 hryvnia banknote. People who were designing banknotes, and the banknotes are probably the most important symbols of the state. A very powerful group of historians was working on this design of the banknotes, and the historians decided that that is the building which deserves to be depicted on this banknote. Ukrainian passport also has this building on one of the pages. It's not just the symbol of Ukraine, it's the symbol of Ukrainian studies. And that is why Ukrainian Harvard University also took this old academic building as their symbol. This building is not just the building, the symbol of Ukrainian education, but the symbol of Ukraine. The next slide shows what is happening in this building now. Here there is a library till recently, because now the building is in a very bad condition. We have limited the access and sightseeing tours. What you see is what was there till recently, the building which was used with educational purposes. Now there's a library there. What I would like to draw your attention to, practically no one knows that inside the Mazepa's building walls were decorated by the paintings of the 17th and beginning of 18th century, the frescoes similar to which we can find only in Kyiv, Pechersk Lavra and St. Sophia Cathedral. They were included into the World Heritage list of UNESCO. They have a very big historical importance, and we ensure that in some places there will be more frescoes like that discovered. Starting from the moment when we received this building, Kyiv Mohyla Academy has not received a single kopeck to support this building, and Kyiv Mohyla Academy at its own cost was supporting the building in more or less nice condition. Here you can see that Kyiv Mohyla Academy has restored and is supporting the building starting from 1993. All the works were funded by own money, which was approximately 2.5 million hryvnias. All the budgetary money the money were not allocated by the state. That is the slide that shows what was done by Kyiv Mohyla Academy, the scope of works, the year when they started, and when the restoration work started and when they were finished. You see the amounts that Kyiv Mohyla Academy used, and there's more information on the website. And also the charity project restoration was dedicated to Kyiv Mohyla Academy. You can see what money was used and what they were spent for. You remember a minute ago I said that there were different resolutions, orders of different state bodies, and this slide shows just the main ones. Starting from 1993, there was a resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine on approving the list of and stages of executing construction and restoration works at the assets of National University Kyiv Mohyla Academy, and they had to allocate 10 billion karbovancy, but nothing was allocated. The next resolution was passed on the 1st of December 95. Here you see just the names, and there are links to these documents on the website. Again, in 95, there was such a resolution, but nothing was done. In 2000, there was the next resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers on allocating to Kyiv Mohyla Academy the funds for restoration of this money. Mogilyanka hasn't received a single kopeck. There was another, the order of the President of Ukraine of 2008 to provide some guarantees that Kyiv Mohyla Academy will receive money for restoration. Again, not a single kopeck was allocated. That is that is like a system. Our state bodies make some, pass some resolutions. They understand the problem. They understand that the building should be restored. They promise things, but nothing is done. Now, what is the situation? What is the condition of the building? The building is in absolutely dissatisfactory condition. These are few photographs that demonstrate the condition. To the right, there's part of the building which looks at Kontraktova Square. There's a crack there. We are trying to support it. We have painted it, but the crack is still there. That's the sign that the building is getting ruined again. We have no possibility to support the building. Here's another photograph. You see what is the condition of the roof. You see the roof and congregation hall, and congregation hall is the heart of old building, and that is where the events were taking place. This is just part of the slides. If the journalists are interested in seeing this building, I will not be taking your time, but you can believe that these are just some of the photographs. What you see here, how Mazepa building could be used. The congregation hall is the place for ceremonial events. That is what basically this congregation hall was used for that before we limited the access to this building. The prime ministers, the presidents, the guests of Ukraine, international guests of Ukraine, heads of different governments, when they were visiting Kyiv Mohyla Academy, they were speaking at congregation hall, then the library, the reading rooms. Again, there's a free access to library and the reading hall. The conference halls, the art gallery, the sightseeing tours. That is what was happening till recently. There's a big demand for such things, but because of security reasons, we limited the access to this hall. That is what we see how the building should be restored. Here's a congregation hall, the galleries, reading rooms. That is the way it could be restored. As to the works that are to be done here, you can see what should be done. There's a list of them and the cost. The total cost as of today is approximately 81 million hryvnias. But again, the building is in very bad condition and it is not getting better, which means that the amount will just grow but will not reduce. What are our next steps? We will be submitting this project as the state investment project, the restoration of the old building. There is a certain procedure which we need to do for our dream to come true, so that this project becomes the reality. First, we had to prepare the concept paper. We are grateful to the Ministry of Education and Science because they put it on the website of the ministry for public discussion, and we informed that the citizens of Ukraine are interested in that and they participate in public discussion. So please, everyone can do it. This concept paper is on the website of the Ministry of Education and Science, or it is on the website of Kyiv Mohyla Academy. The next step after the public discussion is over, the Kyiv Mohyla Academy has to prepare the state investment project design and will submit it to the ministry together with the results of public discussion by the end of January next year, and we are working on that already. And we are sure that we will submit it timely. Then the ministry has a month. They will do their internal expert analysis, and then they have to submit this to the Ministry of Economy till 28th of February 2017. And the last step is Ministerial Commission on State Investment Projects will be selecting state investment projects to be financed from the state budget for 2018. And this will happen in March, February of 2017. This is not the issue for 1 year. We prepared all the design documents. It's a timetable. The planned works for several years. This will take about 4 years. Even on condition we get money, the restoration will last for 4 years. And in the end, I would like to say a few words. First of all, for me personally, all the academic building is the symbol of education of Ukraine, because that's the oldest building which was built for education, and for 313 years this has always been an educational institution, irrespective of what regime we had. The building is the symbol of Ukrainian education, and that is also the symbol of financial Ukraine, because the biggest banknote of 500 hryvnias has this symbol, and the building is in a very negative condition, and it can just collapse. Just imagine if this building collapses, the two symbols of the financial system and education system of Ukraine. You understand what may happen. And in the very end, it's difficult to imagine 500 hryvnia banknote, not with this building, but with the ruins of the building. Let's not change our 500 banknote. Thank you, Andriy. You started saying that Kyiv Mohyla Academy has always existed with this support by the state and by the community. And it's not just architectural complex which is unique in Kyiv Mohyla Academy. Many people know that the community is also unique in Kyiv Mohyla Academy. For me, the presence of Oksana, Syroyid, the graduate of Kyiv Mohyla Academy, is the symbol of existence of this community. I saw that you are looking at the watch. If you have time, stay. If not, then we will give the floor to you, and then our colleagues will say something. And I will be thankful if I can speak now. I'm sorry for some, for my voice. It's because of the seasonal diseases. I could not miss this event, that's for sure. And I will tell you a few things. As a student, congregation hall and old building, that's first what I remember about Academy. That is where I was taking my entrance exam in 1993. And that is what my university will be associated with. That's, well, I came there, I saw it, I fell in love, all these walls, the slide, the books, the space. And for me, that has become the symbol of the university. I saw nothing but the congregation hall in the university then. And then I lived through many things that Andriy mentioned. I saw how the university was repaired. We were participants of the process. We were, together with the President Brukhovetsky, we were attending all these days of like Subotniks, and it was a pleasure. We were restoring the university. We were doing what we could, and we understood that many people joined us in this support. And then, you know, one day I saw old building deeper. I saw what's in there. And you cannot show it on slides. But that is the joy and the sorrow, because we are we are wondering how modern libraries look in historical buildings in the world. We post it in social networks. We tell how beautiful it is, but we have it inside our state. We have it in Kiev. We have it in the university, and we are destroying it. eliminating it, what is in the old building, from the point of view of architecture, of the interior, of the stocks. That's unique thing, and we disregard it. And I believe that's the duty of every citizen to preserve it. I know when I came, I visited all the universities of Ukraine, and I know that such potential as the old academic building has, there's not no such potential anywhere. That is my position as the citizen. And in the end, I cannot compete. There are people who know much more about that. There are historians, those who were studying that. Andriy made a wonderful presentation, and he said everything he could about how important this building is. I can only say that from my position, not as the deputy head of the Verkhovna Rada, that position gives nothing, but from the position of the MP, which gives a lot, that is what allows us to control the government. I want to become your partner to control the government till the moment when this decision is made. We need to give to get the support from parliamentary session hall. Please count on me in this work. I, as MP, will be supporting you. Oksana, yeah, you've touched us. The first step, I believe that no one will object if your signature is the first one or the second one on this paper. Esteemed colleagues, let us continue this topic, because what Oksana mentioned, that is the human dimension of old academy building. This building is unique because it unites international, individual, national memory. I request you to share your thoughts. Volodymyr Panchenko. Thank you. Andriy, in his presentation, mentioned 81 million hryvnias, because I am one of the readers of e-declarations. I could not but think that this is ridiculous money. These e-declarations show not just the material status of our political class, of our elite, because elite is not just a nominal notion, it's a moral notion. These are things which depend not just on money, but they depend on something else. And I would like to say a few words about this something. Here, my colleagues have prepared this address, and I read it, and I have the impression that this is the message to the dead, to live compatriots, and those who were not born. And he wrote his address when he was 30 years old, after he survived through the feeling of horror. And the horror was when he returned from Petersburg to Ukraine, he saw that Ukraine lost the lead. And the main addressee of his message were the descendants of Kazakhs, seniors who have become Russian nobility. Shevchenko was trying to remind them that they are the elite who should think about their mother, and then your mother will embrace you. In 1845, he believed that wakening up of elite, which is no longer Ukrainian elite, is possible. In 15 years, he wouldn't think that. A year before the death, he wrote another poem when he again returned to the topic of Ukraine without elite, without the head. And he was not calling embrace, hug each other, but he was talking about rotten oak tree which will fall, and the whole hope is that there will be new sprouts growing from the old oak tree. We are still we were still the Kazakh without head. A big problem is the quality of our elite, and that's the source of many problems that Ukraine is facing. I'm pleased that the president of Kyiv Mohyla Academy in his presentation was talking not just about the building as the educational building, but he was using the word symbol, and Oksana was talking about that. And the very important dimension is the symbolism, the spirit, our historic memory. Just as a parallel, the old Kyiv hill, you can go up there by stairs. People go up there and they get to the site where there's some pagan center. But if you go a little bit further, you will see the cemetery of the Frolivsky monastery. And I'm thinking about rotten oak tree and the green spruce. That's old Kiev Hill. That's the biggest symbol, because that's the place of St. Andrew, and today is the day of St. Andrew. You cannot even think of the deeper symbol, and it's in an awful condition. That's the same thing, this old academic building with its unique history and old Kiev Hill. We need to do something to ourselves, because 80 million, it's not the problem of 80 million, it's the problem of our mentality, of the mentality of our elite. This may look like trying to teach everyone, but this is about our dignity and the national shame. When we are talking about old academic building, I believe that we need to appeal not just to some rational categories, but to this feeling of dignity and the feeling of national shame. I represent the group 1st of December, which includes many respected people: Miroslav Popovych, Lubomir Guzar, Bryukhovetsky, Skurativsky. And today at 2 o'clock we will have the meeting of the group, and I realized what I will be offering there. I will offer that we join the support of old academic building. Maybe we will appeal to someone specific. What's his name? We will think about that, because when you if you address everyone, they will think it's not to me. But if you address one person, then according to the legislation, they will have to answer. I believe that we need to cry about that, to shout about that, to appeal to everything we can to and I'm sure we will succeed if we feel ourselves green sprouts, to be green sprouts. Thank you. As to addresses, our system of authorities is very interesting. There's always, everyone is thinking, who will make a decision? There is a big temptation to appeal to the head of the state so that he takes this under his personal control. That's a big temptation. But let us be civilized. I believe if we want to get a civilized decision, let's work with the government. Let's put all our efforts into making the government our partner, whether they want it or not, but they have to become our partner. So I would appeal to the Prime Minister, to the government. Okay. I would like to add, just in this case, like in other situations, we will be following the legal procedures in accordance to the regulatory basis existing in Ukraine, which is on state investment projects. It's weak, but it's there. There is a certain procedure there, and we will see who's the friend of Ukrainian education and who does not want to help the development of the education. We have the vice president of Kyiv Mohyla Academy on science and informatics and the director of Institute of Restoration, Mr. Vasyl Tymkovych, and Madam Rutkovska, who's member of the Department of Culture in Kyiv City State Administration. So you can provide your comments and the journalists can ask questions. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me. I am pleased to mention that the Institute has been involved into preservation of the assets of Kyiv Mohyla Academy for many years, and the old academic building as well. About 30 years, our specialists have been researching and designing all the documents for this asset. What I would like to mention, unfortunately, this is the problem not just for old academic building, but for many other assets in Ukraine, especially the assets which are the monuments of architecture. After the research, the implementation of projects starts, and unfortunately it could last for many years. We talked about that with the representatives of Kyiv Mohyla Academy. The design was made 20 years ago, and there were technologies developed and some design solution, but it has been implemented for many years. And the works on hydro insulation and other things, they were stretched for many years. What's the problem? The problem is that the design after such a long period gets obsolete. The building technically is deteriorating, is getting destructed, and the solution which was good 20 years ago isn't appropriate now. And again, the design documents are to be ordered, and I would like to say we are glad that Kyiv Mohyla Academy a few years ago again looked at that problem for their own money. They're trying to do it, and we finished the work on examining the building. So we'll be developing the design documents, and I would like to emphasize that the state has to understand if the problem is not addressed now, then the building will be ruined. We shouldn't extend it for 20, 30 years. In 3-5 years, we need to finish it. Then this project will be effective, and the design solutions will be good. The Institute will do everything possible to prepare all the documents in a timely manner and at a high quality. Thank you. Thank you. For what you mentioned, that the designs are getting obsolete morally and technically, and the money which were to be used for restoration are very often used just for designing the documents. Olga Rutkovska, I'm happy that we met here in UCMC, because from my experience of work in restoration, I understand that today the issue of preserving this unique monument and other monuments, it's about the national security. It would be good to look at this situation from this position. Again, I would like to emphasize to draw our attention to the fact that Kyiv Mohyla Academy is a symbol of restoring independent Ukraine, the whole Kyiv Mohyla Academy and all academic building. Why? Because at the same time when Ukraine got independence, at the same year, the academy was born, and it survived through all the stages of the growth of young state. And today it demonstrates what is the situation with preserving unique monuments in our country. I share the idea that everyone should look differently at the issue of how money is allocated. I also have such an idea. Kyiv as the capital of the country, as the city with the unique heritage, has to join us in this issue, because Kontraktova Square and Kyiv cannot exist without that asset. It has become a symbol. All guests of the capital go to Kontraktova Square, and they know about Kyiv Mohyla Academy. They this is the monument which is known all over the world, and thanks to the common work of the university and restoration workers. And if we all see this monument ruined, this will be the result of our common efforts. As to funding, financing, it would be proper to refer it not just to the competence of the Ministry of Education and Science, but to Kyiv authorities. We need to address to the Commission on Culture, because it's about the capital of Ukraine, the first city of Ukraine, and in this city there is such a unique asset. As historian, I would like to add that from times of Ivan Mazepa on the territory of Kyiv. We don't have many assets, many monuments. That is one which is unique. And I request everyone who care, who are interested, please support the initiative of Kyiv Mohyla Academy, of the university. Please support the groups of those who are interested in that, and offer us your support and your ideas. Maybe when we started talking, let's talk and let's work all together. Thank you, Olga. We received when the document was put on the website of Kyiv Mohyla Academy, there was a suggestion made that let's create the petition on that. Well, thank you all those present for your interest to this topic. I would like to support you in the idea to have the public discussion, open letter, and everything we need to do to preserve the monument of Ukrainian Baroque, and we don't have many of them left. I would like to draw your attention to the material implementation. If the old academic building is the symbol of Ukraine, the heart of that is the library, which in all the years of the existence of Kyiv Mohyla Academy, starting from the times when it was founded, it has always been located in this building. And today we are saying that this idea of Mazepa, of the founder of this building, is to educate new generations via transfer of wisdom, and that is done in the library. In times of the Soviet power, this building was not given to the military school. It was the library of the Academy of Sciences. This was the building where the knowledge has always been transferred from generation to generation. Now in this building we have the most valuable part of Kyiv Mohyla Academy, our department of rare publications starting from the 17th century. There are valuable collections, the private libraries, the museum, artifacts. Our scientific archive is located there, and we would like to preserve it for future generations, not just in a different building, but right there, to preserve it not just for the students of Kyiv Mohyla Academy. We would like to preserve it for Kyivites, for the citizens of Ukraine, for any citizen of the world who can come and touch the sacred heart of Ukrainian culture and education. Thank you, Tetyana. I will add some comment. I had an experience. I was showing the Kyiv Mohyla campus. I was talking about the buildings to the group of children from the east of Ukraine. And one girl, when she came to the library, she said, I will study here. Now I know what to do when I finish school. I want to enter Kyiv Mohyla Academy. Thank you for your comments, for your emotions and feelings. Maybe you have some other comments. I see some of our colleagues here. Would you like to add anything? No. Okay. Then we will miss this Q&A session, and in the end we will announce the text of the open letter. who will be reading it. I will read the text and then we will tell where you can find it. The open letter to the citizens. Mohyla requires urgent help of the state in rescuing the famous monument of architecture, the old academic building of Mazepa. It's built by the graduate of Kyiv Mohyla Academy, Hetman Mazepa, in 1703. This building is the most ancient educational building in Ukraine, which in 313 years of its existence has never changed its purpose. Inside this building, there were those who were studied were Skovoroda, Grigorovich Barsky, Vedel Berezovsky, Nyschuk, Dmitro Gulak, Tymovsky. And that's where Ukrainian science, philosophy, modern literature, music and architecture, and medicine were born. That is where Ukrainian culture and history of our state were created. This building has always been the symbol and heart of Kyiv Mohyla Academy. Among 11 monuments of history and architecture located on the territory of Kyiv Mohyla Academy, which is part of the state preserve ancient Kyiv, the Mazepa building is the most famous. It has the library. There were most ceremonial events in the life of Academy taking place, but now it's on the verge of getting of disappearance. Since 1993 till now, Kyiv Mohyla Academy, at the expense of own money and the money of the sponsors, was organizing the support and maintenance of many of the buildings. In 2011, the charity project Restoration was started. Part of the design documents were developed using this money, but now the condition of old building has reached the critical point when small repair for small money, partial funding will not resolve the problem. The old building cannot, doesn't have such a luxury as slow time. The condition is getting worse and worse. Now the restoration works cost about 80 million hryvnias. We need the assistance of the state. We value the support of the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine, which is now, which has received the documents on restoration of this architectural complex. Now the procedure of public discussion is going on. We hope that the Ministry of Economic Development and Trade of Ukraine and other state institutions on who the destiny of this building depend will take into account national interests. We understand that people may think that while the war is going on, it's not the time to allocate money for preserving the building. We are convinced that the state which wants to prosper should follow the logic of development, and the foundation of that is high-quality education. There are ideas and things which should be eternal. The task of every generation is not to lose it, to transfer to children. And the building is material embodiment of these ideas. We should respect the past and create the future. We invite everyone to sign this letter. People from Kyiv, people not from Kyiv, Ukrainians from Ukraine, from outside of Ukraine, people just who are not citizens of Ukraine. And this is something that only the community can do. Vladimir, would you like to add something? Okay, you're joking. Today, on the official website of the university, there's an information on the project, the full text of the concept paper, the links to the section of the ministry where you can read it, addresses to which you can send your comments. Please, those who do it, copy this to the address of the university so that we see how it's going on. There is this full presentation that our president showed today. Again, I would like to thank all who joined the organization of that event. I would like to thank the Ukrainian Crisis Media Center and all the participants of the roundtable. Let's hope that this will be the first but not the only step towards positive resolution of this problem. Thank you.